The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Hey, it's Cam from WCBH. You're just about to listen to day 3 of our Camino Francis journey. I actually recorded 5 segments on the day, but I've only been able to publish 2, the first and the last. There was just too much wind around for segments 2, 3, and 4 to publish. The quality of the audio was just so low. Pity I can't publish those because they're easily the best work I've ever done. They were hilarious, full of excitement, adventure, etc. No, we'll get the audio sorted for tomorrow, day 4, and I'll try and record when there's not so much wind around. Thanks for listening and enjoy segments 1 and 5 of day 3. Good morning, it's day 3. We're just leaving Roncesvalles, heading to a town called Biskarreta. This is the beginning of stage 2 of the Camino Francis. What we'll do is actually do 2 stages in 3 days. So after Biskarreta, we'll head to Roncesvalles and then on to Pamplona, running of the Bull's Place. And that's where we'll have our first rest day, we think. It's cold. The wind chill factor is making it exceptionally cold, and we're from the tropics, so we're definitely feeling it. Last night was an experience. Let me tell you a bit about that. Firstly, we had a beautiful mass to start with, a Pilgrim's mass in Spanish, in Latin, a special Pilgrim's blessing during the mass, a beautiful church, and then just so many little things they did during the Mass to make it and special as well. So that was a lovely family experience as we are on this pilgrimage, a religious pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, where the remains of St. James lay in the crypt. So that was a lovely Mass that we had last night. And if you listen to the last episode, we spoke about how what we're putting down as our first big mistake of the Camino, and we'll take all these mistakes in our stride, but we had booked our accommodation in a completely different town, so well done to us there. The backup plan always is, not that we want to do this, is take a dormitory bed in an albergues. More than happy to take a private room in an albergue, but as a family with a young child, having a private room, having our own space, private bathroom, these things all really appeal to us. So we had to take a dormitory bed. It was 2 dormitories. I think each dormitory probably had about, 12 beds in each dormitory, shared facilities for toilets and showers, and they were shared co-ed facilities, so that was not something that we expected either. But it was a bed, and it was warmer in there than it was outside. We were able to get a nice dinner there as well as part of our ticket. Jan and Sherilyn had the chicken, I had the fish. Me having the fish will be a recurring theme, I'm sure. An interesting thing about the albergue was the smell. Yeah, pilgrims walking along and jamming 12 of them into a dormitory, a small dormitory. Yep, not the greatest smell in the world. And sleep a little bit interrupted by the snorers in the room. Hopefully we were not one of those snorers. I managed to get about 4 hours last night. Sherilyn says she got 0 hours sleep, and Chan said he didn't get much sleep either. So we've had the dormitory albergue experience now. We're thankful that we had that experience and thankful that there was a bed available. But where possible, we will try and have private rooms along the way. Now, what is mounting as possibly our second mistake is the cash situation. Because of our emergency accommodation last night, We used some cash last night and we've got a second lot of cash. But I think we're about €3 short of the next place now. And the ATM that we've just been to was out of power, so not working. So another note to self, draw out more money from the ATM, more money than you think you need, because although you can use card at many places along the way, some places are cash only. So going to get creative along the path today. Somehow I need to make €3 on the Camino path. So if you've got any suggestions, send some through the social media comments there. But we need to make €3 before we get to Biskarreta. Okay, so that's the end of day 3. We've arrived in Biskarreta. We're at our accommodation and it's fantastic. We've got access to our own kitchen, so we're able to buy things from the shop and cook and prepare them, even make our own tea and coffee, etc., which we're really looking forward to, just being able to prepare something that we might usually eat at home rather than eating something that contains bread. Whilst walking along, we saw some signs that said, Ernest Hemingway used to spend some time in this area. This area is known as the Navarra region, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, like the Nissan Navara, maybe. Yeah, he used to spend some time here and write in this area and also use the environment around as inspiration for some of the sceneries that might appear in his novels, etc. So we're here in Biskarreta. Tomorrow we look to be going a little bit longer tomorrow, probably about 16 k's to Lara Sorona. And then the next day we aim to get into Pamplona, but we need a good night of rest and hydration. This morning started very early. I had a little bit of sleep. My wife and son didn't have so much, but I started the day feeling very dehydrated. Massive headache, and I put that down to a few things. I hadn't had a coffee in about 2 days, so that's not going to do me any good. I'm someone who drinks a fair amount of tea and coffee. Dehydrated from wearing a lot of gear whilst walking, but it was cold in the dormitory, so I laid up whilst trying to get some sleep, so that would have dehydrated me a little bit more. And just the cold I think dries you out a little bit. So headache started to dissipate across the morning. We had a nice breakfast and got plenty of fluids into us across the day. So headache is gone now. Need a good night's sleep so we can get ready for day 4.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.